I'm gonna move.
They broke my heater, so I have absolutely no way to heat myself tonight.
It's literally come to the point where I'm sleeping with an axe by the side of my bed.
We begin this journey with Nat Moran, a true nomad at heart, traveling from place to place with her loyal dog, Pike. She documents her adventures on her channel, which I can genuinely recommend, and throughout this compilation, you'll see a few more creators worth checking out. Nat's encounter happened this very Thanksgiving, and it's a different kind of story, one that left a mark on her holiday. Being constantly on the move, she wanted to find a quiet spot to spend this special night camping. And she did. She found a secluded place and started setting up her camp. Let's take a look at what happened next.
Hi, buddy. We are here in High Alpine, Colorado, and it is a lot colder here than in southern Colorado. To be fair, I did choose to come to this location specifically because in the next couple of days, they are calling for a really significant snowstorm. And we really haven't had a lot of snow. And I'm really looking forward to a winter wonderland. It is Thanksgiving, and I'm gonna be cooking my Thanksgiving meal over the campfire. And, well, hi. Let's just say I haven't been exactly successful in this department, specifically on Thanksgiving. So I'm really curious to see if I'm able to make an edible meal this year. But if not, Pike and I are gonna have a good time and still enjoy it because there's a lot to be thankful for, and I am so excited and grateful to be here sharing this with you.
After Nat finished cooking, and judging by how quickly everything disappeared, it must have turned out great. She and Pike settled in for the night as darkness wrapped around the forest. Everything felt calm, almost perfect. But that calm vanished in an instant when the sound of a helicopter suddenly echoed above the trees right over their campsite. And from that moment on, things took a very unexpected turn for Nat. Let's continue.
I have no idea why there's a helicopter outside my camp. Like, if it was search and rescue, I feel like I would see flashlights and hear people like shouting and like setting up a base camp maybe. Oh my gosh, I think I hear another helicopter coming. A helicopter just landed right there. You can kind of see the flashing light. It's so loud and so close. I don't know what's going on. Oh my God! Going on? I just knocked into my camp. Look at what just happened. This helicopter just flew in and knocked over everything. Oh my God. Diesel everywhere. I hope my diesel heater didn't break. Like 2 helicopters just came in over my camp at tree line. So like, oh God, I'm going inside. They're flying off. Okay. They broke my heater, so I have absolutely no way to heat myself tonight because
Unfortunately for Nat, the helicopter flew so low that it caused some real damage. It broke her heater, her solar panel, and a few other essentials she relied on. And with no source of warmth on a cold night, she had no choice. Nat packed everything up and left the campsite right then and there. The good news is that both she and Pike were unharmed. The losses were only material. But without a doubt, this Thanksgiving will stay with her for a very long time. Still, there's something unsettling about it. Nat never found out what really happened. From what I know, helicopters usually fly that low only when searching for a missing person. But there could be other reasons as well. So tell me, what do you think caused that low flight? Make sure to drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with a friend who loves this kind of content. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. It's free, and it truly helps the channel grow, especially since more than 90% of viewers aren't subscribed yet. Also, tap the bell icon so YouTube actually notifies you whenever I upload something new. All right, back to the video. Next, we move to the channel of Ava Beck, a well-known explorer and the host of Super Skilled on National Geographic. Ava is fearless by nature, someone who lives life to the fullest in the wilderness and faces challenges head-on. But even she has moments where something manages to shake her. And this time, it wasn't the wilderness doing it. While she was inside her tent on her own remote forest property high in the mountains, Eva experienced something that reminded her exactly who's the most dangerous animal in the world. Let's hear her story.
It's literally come to the point where I'm sleeping with an axe by the side of my bed. The last few weeks have been eye-opening for me, because in the last few weeks I've started to realize just how dangerous it is to do what I do. And I never had to deal with situations like this before, not on this level, but just the fact that it's all happening now is making me rethink this channel, what this channel is about, and the future of it. And this is not clickbait. I'm not being overly dramatic. When you hear the stories, I think you'll understand. A few minutes ago, a man that I don't know appeared on my property. And he turned to me and he said, "Oh, finally I found you. I've been looking for you." This is a man that I don't know, that I didn't invite here, that I didn't want here, who came here all on his own to my private property in the mountains, where there is no obvious path that leads here. He made his way up the hills and through the freaking forest to find me, uninvited. To find a woman who's camping on her own, on her private property. To find her and do what exactly? I was shocked. I was shocked and immediately felt so vulnerable and so scared. I immediately told him that this is my private property and that I'm not looking for guests. I took my axe and I went inside my tent with Vilk.
The story is already unsettling, but Eva still hasn't reached the part that truly stands out. Because what comes next is far more disturbing. As I mentioned, Eva travels the world for her work as a TV host, filming in remote places, documenting unique experiences. Nothing unusual about that in her case. But this time, the details surrounding her situation take an unexpected turn, and things become even stranger. Let's continue her story.
This is not the first time that something like this has happened, because a few weeks ago, something even worse happened. A few weeks ago, I was filming with National Geographic for my new show when I found out that another guy that I didn't know, that I had zero contact with ever, had been looking for me on my land in Poland. I wasn't there at the time, of course. I was filming with Nat Geo on a different continent. But the next thing I know, this man found out where we were filming, and he flew from Europe to Africa to chase me down, convinced that we were supposed to get married and that we're supposed to be together, that destiny is bringing us together. And so this man is looking for me all around the world. I don't know him. I don't know who he is. I don't know his intentions. And he found me. It's a really terrifying experience when men that you don't know seek you out and you don't know what their intentions are. And some of them are delusional. Some of them think that you're going to get married. Some of them think that you're supposed to fall in love. This guy was about to propose to me without fucking knowing me, without me knowing it. This level of, I don't even know what to call it, but these situations make me feel so awful, so vulnerable.
I can completely understand the mix of anger, fear, and disgust Eva must have felt in that moment. And honestly, who wouldn't? The thought of someone following you across continents, someone unpredictable and potentially dangerous, is terrifying on its own. And even if we treat this as an isolated case, the fact that someone showed up in her forest, on her own property, is deeply unsettling. After the encounter, Eva decided not to spend the night there, a perfectly reasonable choice when you know a stranger is wandering nearby. And a year later, she posted an update explaining how she chose not to let this experience break her spirit. If you're curious, I highly recommend watching that video. All I can say is that she deserves a lot of respect for the way she handled it. Steve and Audra are a full-time van life couple, driven by their love for travel, nature, and slow-paced adventure. They spend their days exploring new places, watching wildlife, and keeping their lifestyle simple and affordable. During one of their trips, driving from Winthrop, Washington to the small town of Concrete, they experienced something a little out of the ordinary. Audra was recording the drive as she always does, talking about the scenery and what they expected to find ahead, when suddenly they came across a parked car blocking part of the road. And what happened next has a slightly humorous twist, at least from my perspective.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the main event of the evening. Are you ready?
We couldn't believe our eyes when we saw this fight break out on the side of the road. We pulled over and started recording just in case it escalated and required law enforcement involvement. Thankfully, the drama seemed to end, and we continued on our way. But that was so crazy.
What was this kid running to?
It's only a small moment, I know, but it raises so many questions. Why were they arguing? It doesn't even look like two separate drivers. Just one car on the edge of the road. Why there? Did they pull over to start a fight? And the biggest question of all, where is the man in the white shirt running to? Unfortunately, none of these questions will ever be answered. Scottish Summiteer belongs to a young man from Scotland who loves camping in all forms. He spends nights in remote wilderness, on mountain ridges, and even beside old abandoned houses rumored to be haunted. He's the kind of adventurer who wants to try everything at least once. In this clip, we find him camping on a Scottish mountain, fully aware that a snowstorm was predicted to hit later that night. But the most striking detail is the contrast. The day begins bright and sunny with a clear blue sky. Nothing that would hint at what was coming. And up there, the weather was about to turn far worse than any forecast had suggested. Let's take a look.
Welcome back everyone. You join me in a very cold Scotland, just a little bit up from the Rest and Be Thankful. Today I'm heading to the summit of a mountain. I'm going to spend the night up there whilst we have a yellow weather warning for snow and ice. It's going to be very cold, but it should be a lot of fun. Come along for the adventure. I'm starting the hike on this nice forestry track, heading through Glenmore or Glenmore, not too sure. You can see the sun shining through the trees there, and back there's a little bit of snow on that mountain, and I can't really see too much on that one. But it's not going to be this good track for very long, so I'll continue on, and I'm sure we'll start heading upward very soon. Man, it's cold when you're in the shade. I think in my car it said it was like -1 degrees Celsius right now, with the possibility of getting down to -5 tonight. So it is going to be very cold, but as long as that big yellow ball stays out, I'm going to be happy.
He kept climbing until he finally reached the spot he had chosen. Once there, he immediately began setting up his tent. Darkness was closing in fast, and the mountain air was growing colder by the minute. But what truly stands out is the sky. The bright, clear blue from earlier had turned heavy and gray, a sure sign that snow and freezing winds were moving in. Let's continue.
Right, wish me luck, guys. Doesn't actually look too bad out there just yet. Oof, here we are. But I'm definitely going to shut this up. I do not want it to get cold in there. I did not shut up. There we go, that did. There's the summit trig point up there. And look at that, you can see the lights. I'm not sure where that is, but it must be a pretty big place. And then I'm guessing those are the lights of Ariker, I would think. And then I'm not too sure where that is in the distance. But here is the tent, the beast. And it seems to be holding up pretty well so far. Don't even need to put on the guy lines again. I think I'm just going to leave them tied up, because I can't be bothered putting them away tomorrow. And seems to be holding up pretty well. I think I've just got 6 pegs in at the moment, and that seems to be enough. Man, it's cold out here. Right, I think I'm going to quickly take you up to the summit. Okay, here we are at the summit of Ben Donich. Whoa, there we go. And I think that might be Loch Goyle Head down there. It's pretty cool. And yeah, I'm still not too sure what that is in the distance. Someone maybe let me know in the comments. Whew, it is pitch black though, you literally cannot see a thing. I don't even know if you can maybe make out my tent just down there. But yeah, not too much to see out here. There's no sign of this snowstorm as of yet, but I'm pretty sure it will come. We've got a yellow weather warning for heavy snow and ice all throughout the night, which should be pretty interesting. But for now, I think I'm just going to chill out and probably get an early night. I think it's 8:30 right now, so I'll probably just go to sleep, to be honest. Well, that snowstorm has definitely arrived. There is a lot more snow out there than there was yesterday. I think I'm just going to shut that up for now. Stay in here where it's nice and cozy. But you can see how much snow there's actually been. It's all sort of built up there at the side of the tent. It has been snowing quite a lot. But luckily, I'm nice and warm and comfy in here.
I know. This wasn't the most dramatic moment, at least not in the way you might expect. But things could have gone far, far worse. There have been other YouTubers in similar conditions, who, sadly, didn't make it through the night. A yellow snowstorm warning is serious, especially on an exposed mountain peak, where the wind can rip a tent from the ground in seconds. And if the snowfall had been heavier, descending safely the next day might not have been possible at all. This video serves as a reminder, a moment of awareness. Sometimes taking the risk isn't worth it. Weather can shift from calm to dangerous in an instant. And on this channel, we've seen time and time again how quickly the wilderness can change. Emmy is a full-time van traveler living on the road with her cat, the two of them being the faces behind the Cat Lady van. Her channel is filled with beautiful journeys, honest reflections about life on the road, and the kinds of small adventures that turn into lasting memories. But this time, the memory wasn't a pleasant one. During one of her recent trips, Emmy found herself in a tense situation, one that could have become dangerous, especially for a woman traveling alone. The video begins with Emmy driving, searching for a quiet place to spend the night. A place she eventually finds. Let's take a look.
So I arrived probably an hour ago now. The air has been on, it's windy, cold. Like, no way that I'm going outside. No way. So yeah, I win, I like rainfall, all the things at once. So I think Kitty's got the best way to spend the day. You mean, Kitty? I think that's a good way to spend the day. Oh yeah. The wind's coming this way. You can feel it in between the cracks. It's quite windy. That's why my heater's been on, and I put my pillow there, but still, it's coming from the top there.
After taking some time to get everything ready for the night and making sure her van felt safe and settled, Emmy was finally ready to rest. But as darkness settled over the area, the atmosphere around her began to shift, and the first signs of trouble slowly appeared. Let's continue.
Alright guys, that's someone banging on my van pretty loud. I'm not sure if he did any damage, to be quite honest. I don't know if he banged with a piece of wood. He banged on another van too. I'm gonna move. So just to explain a little bit the situation, so a man who was just walking the street banged on my van, and the van behind me was a camper van, and we ended up following each other for a little bit just down the road. I went outside to make sure that the person was alright, nothing was damaged on their van, and ended up to be one of my subscribers. So it was great. We just chat a little bit, and we decided to following each other to another location. So it's so funny. The other lady is a subscriber. I didn't know it was a lady, and I didn't know she was a subscriber. So we just talked. She said that she's alright. She just wanna leave the area just in case that he's coming back. So we're gonna drive together to another spot. We're just gonna go at the rest area a little bit further down the road. I mean, we're leaving the town to be honest. It's just gonna be better, and I'm going in the night mode tomorrow anyway, so might as well. Alright.
A single man, likely drunk or unstable, managed to frighten 2 women traveling alone, each in her own van. And it makes you wonder, what kind of person hits strangers' vehicles with a piece of wood? Sometimes the world can be unsettlingly unpredictable. Emmy made the right call. She stayed inside, drove away immediately, and only afterward checked for damage. For a woman traveling alone, moments like these can become dangerous incredibly fast, especially when the other person is holding something that can be used as a weapon. From her reaction, you can tell she knows how to keep her emotions under control. She doesn't freeze, she doesn't panic. She manages the situation with clarity, and that's impressive. How would you react in a moment like this? Make sure to drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with a friend who loves this kind of content. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. It's free, and it truly helps the channel grow, especially since more than 90% of viewers aren't subscribed yet. Also, tap the bell icon so YouTube actually notifies you whenever I upload something new.